Hello YouTube. Welcome back. This is Balor Mage again, and we're bringing you some different tech I've never played with before. In the background, you'll see me playing the Viper Striker Bomber. Obviously, the idea for that came from just seeing Mathel's video, which made Viper Striker Bomber look incredibly good. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about the little template. I'm doing ward stacking in a slightly different way. It provides me very little defense, but a ton, and I do mean an absolute ton, of flat chaos damage added to everything. This is a template that takes like 2.5 items, and I'll get to what those are. I'll explain them. I got path of buildings and everything, but it takes like 2.5 items, and we can apply it to absolutely any build to get between, depending on your investment, 400 to 800 flat chaos damage to maybe even as high as 1,200 flat chaos damage, depending on how you go about it, which is an incredibly large amount of flat chaos damage to add to anything. That is so ridiculously high, it sounds wrong. Now, I'm not convinced that the first skill that I've tried, being Viper Striker Bomber in the background here, I'm not sure that that is the play, but I am sure that that's a ton of flat chaos, and I definitely want to do something with it. So let's explain how it works first. Right, so these two items, they're going to be the real important ones. First item, Night Grip Runic Cages. Just a rune unique. It's been nerfed recently. It's actually been nerfed twice. It used to come with 25% of ward gained as added chaos damage, then it was nerfed to 20. Then this league we got access to way more ward. It got nerfed to 10%. This is fine because our ward numbers are way higher. All this does is give us a little bit of chaos damage, gain added chaos damage equal to 10% of your ward, and 75% of the damage taken bypasses ward. So that means if you've got 4,000 ward, defensively it's as if you only have 1,000 ward. All right, so defensively this is a lot less useful, but having 1,000 ward over your life is still pretty useful, so it's not completely wasted. The second half, the reason we're able to get a ton more, is this guy right here, which was only introduced this league in Settlers League. Yinder's Stand. Studded leather belt, unfortunately, bad base, but really interestingly, gain ward instead of 50% of armor and evasion rating from your equipped shield. This does respond to defense catalysts, which means it becomes 60%. So 60% of the armor and evasion from your chest becomes ward. So with just those two items, we now, or just those two uniques, we now have access to quite a bit of ward. So I made a little showcase area right here. So with just these two items on, right? Just those two items, this gives me 109 ward. So you can see that's all we have is 109 ward. So if you put on something useful, like a lightning coil here, it's got some armor and evasion, not incredibly good armor or evasion. In fact, let's just max that roll out to give us the best look, right? It'll take our ward from 109 all the way up to 1,500. That's a starter amount of ward. That's 150, 10%. That's 150 flat chaos damage added to literally everything. Herald's attack spells, doesn't matter. That's okay. Other options, things like Brass Dome. Way more armor, can come with up to +5 max res, etc. Right? That brings us up to 3k max ward. We've got the one my character is currently wearing, which is an 8C item I reforged the defense on twice just to have a chest to wear because I was too low level to wear any of the good bases. This is not an impressive base at all. The rolls on it are bad. I've even got crafted armor and evasion, and still with just those items, we're at 2.4k. That's already 240 flat chaos, which is quite a bit. That's before we add any other gear in. And I put this one in, which is triple T1 prefixes on the best base. So this is like the best case scenario for a chest you could make for defense, right? Throw that one on. That's with just those 3 items. No global increased defense, no increased defense rolls anywhere, nothing giving us more ward. That's already 4.4 thousand. So just with the gear I currently have on my character, that doesn't count new bases. So for instance, my boots right here add another 340 ward, while if they were better rolled, also giving me, could be 100 life. That would be great. These boots are bad, but it's fine for now. You can also put on a helmet that's just a ward base. You don't need to do anything really special with it. You can just get a life roll, get a nice % ward roll on it, and that's all I've got here. There's nothing special about it. It doesn't even have the doesn't even have like a flat ward roll. It adds another 500. So every single one of these things adds a bunch more flat chaos. So that is just a fantastic idea that I haven't quite figured out how to do right now. So right now I'm testing out Viper Striker the Mamba. It is very cool. I'm doing it on a Pathfinder. Pathfinder already gets the prolif. I have not Uber ascended despite being level 90 because I just haven't been back to lab yet. I will definitely do that. We will figure out what nodes we're going to take. This whole thing is like a template of like a stand-in. Does this idea work? The answer is it does. Because we're Viper Striker Mamba, I will quickly go over what I've done in this build, but I do want to say this could be not Viper Strike tomorrow. It could be Viper Strike completely differently tomorrow. It could be a completely different thing. It could end up being a spell. It could end up being an anything. I'm also open to any suggestions of how to deliver my large amount of chaos damage to things. So for now, I'm doing Viper Striker Mamba. It's special because 300% more damage with poisons, but you can only poison once. That's fantastic. Mixing that with Perfect Agony. Non-crits can't make ailments. Crits do. For some reason, it doesn't show you crit multi anymore, which your crit multi now applies to damage over time multi instead. But in-game, you can see our crit multi, which is right now 458%. So that'll get a little bit higher, but for now, that's what we're at. So that's a lot of damage. I also took this node, critical strikes with a dagger poison enemy. It's fantastic. So now I don't need poison chance. I don't need damage over time multi. I don't need any of those things. It's always crits all the time. We've got 100% crit. It'll poison off my crit multi. It's fantastic. We have stacked low tolerances everywhere, although we only have 3 of them currently. And I will take the other side of these as I get a few more levels. But there's 2 there, 1 here, and there's going to go 1 more in this slot as well. So there'll be 4 of them plus the mastery. Should leave us out with 1 very large poison. Obviously, I am in scuffed gear. The idea was find out if this works without spending an absolute truckload of currency and make sure that it's a good idea first before we go spending a lot of money. After our shenanigans with shrines recently, I decided it would be better to prove to myself that the idea has legs before we go spending 80 or 100 divines putting a build together that might fail again. So far, flat damage wise has been absolutely fantastic. The other thing we're doing that's a little different from other Viper Strike builds is we went with the pneumatic dagger, whatever that is called. I went with one of them. With hits can't be evaded. It ends up doing a pretty good amount of damage. It's got the crit multi when there's a rare or unique nearby, which is fantastic. It has hits can't be evaded, so I don't have to worry about accuracy at all, and I can't miss. And it's got more damage on it than the Binos does. So I'm pretty happy with that. Because it's all hits with this weapon can poison, we can just use Ellie rolls. We can just use elemental rolls for everything. It doesn't matter. Everything that goes onto that weapon can poison, which is fantastic. We're not going to talk too hard about the links that I have here because they're the ones I could pick up from a vendor and color into my garbage chest. We're probably still going to put melee fizz in here, probably in place of efficacy, but I was just testing everything to make sure it worked. So that's the theory. This has been it in practice. Obviously, my character's very squishy, although I have somehow nearly made it to level 90 on the first day. But it is very squishy. So we're going to have to work on that. And like I said, we might become a spell. We might become another attack. We might become we could become anything. Who knows what this character's going to be. But that's how it's going to work. I'm pretty excited to see what I can do. We have to come up with good ideas for that very large amount of flat chaos damage that's getting added though. Need some good ideas for that. Not 100% sure how we're going to utilize it yet, but there it is. That's some exciting tech. This is what we'll be working on for the next several days. Leave any ideas you've got that go with this in the description. We'll have a look at everything. That is all I have, and I will see everybody next time. Goodbye.